Hi guys, it's your favorite child care provider and nanny, Linda. Now I know some of you are thinking, I don't know you, so how are you my favorite child care provider? That's understandable. I'm hoping after a few videos, even maybe after this video, you become more acquainted with me and maybe I can be your top 2 or 3 favorite child care provider. But today, I'm going to be talking about 5 things to pay attention to when looking to hire a nanny or if you're a nanny looking for a position. Now, before I get into all of that, let me introduce myself. I am Linda. I have been in childcare for 16 years now, and don't think too hard, I'm pretty young. I started childcare, or I want to say I started babysitting at age 13. And the first set of kids I was babysitting were 4 kids for one family. It was not easy, and one was a baby. But since then, I've grown to love childcare, and I have served in the childcare field in many different titles. I've been a recess coach, I've been a children's fitness instructor, I've been a head lice technician. I'll tell you about that one day. I've also been a nanny, of course, a sitter, what else? A newborn care specialist. I've kind of dabbled in the child care field for all these years now, and I'm currently in school pursuing a degree in child psychology. So I think I might know what I'm talking about. Hopefully you think so too. My first topic is background checks. Now, I want to say all families do a background check. However, the families that do not, 9 times out of 10, they either get their nannies through a nanny agency that does their own background check, or their nanny comes highly recommended through friends and family. If you're a nanny or a sitter looking for a position and you do not work with a company, I recommend doing your own background check so that you can hand it to families when you go on interviews. It just gives them peace of mind. If you're a parent and you have a sitter or a nanny that you're considering that is highly recommended, I still recommend running a background check, because you just never know these days. And as a child care professional, it hurts to see some child care providers and nannies and sitters in compromising situations. It's just not good for us. So please do background checks. If you're a nanny or if you're a sitter and you're worried about some things from your past coming up to sneak up out of nowhere, please be transparent and honest with the family that you are trying to work with, because you never want anything to just pop out of anywhere and then the family loses trust in you. So please be open with them about things that you've done that you feel like maybe may pop up. Now, if you have misdemeanors or felonies, I'm not going to speak on that because I'm just not. Number 2 is credentials. Now, based on my experience, I know that families usually prefer or favor childcare providers who have some sort of education, degree, certification, or training in childcare. However, there are some families that will overlook that if you have years of experience or if you come highly recommended. But I have noticed for some positions, some nanny positions that require more responsibilities or that will pay you more, usually require like a bachelor's degree or some concrete degree in childcare, because that's what they're paying for. However, parents, please be advised that just because somebody has a high degree in child care does not always mean they will be the best fit for your family. Because there are some sitters and there are some nannies I've met that don't have as high as education as others, and they're perfect. And they're perfect for that family, or they're just a great asset to that family. Whereas I've met people who have all the degrees in the world in childcare, and they just don't match. They just don't fit. There's just something off. So please do not base you picking a nanny solely on the credentials. It's important, and I recommend sitters and nannies and childcare providers to have some sort of training or some sort of education in it. However, that should not be the make it or break it. Number 3 is experience. Now, I will say this. I started babysitting at age 13, and I was taking care of 4 kids, and 1 was a baby, and I had 0 experience. And there are some families who will have a teenager from the neighborhood or a teenager from their family babysit the younger kids, and that's fine based on what you're comfortable with. But I do know, as a sitter and a nanny now, a lot of families want you to have experience. They need to know that you've worked with kids before in some capacity. And especially if they have a baby, and especially if it's their first baby, oh, you better believe that you're going to need some experience, and they're going to check to make sure you have that experience. Now, let's talk about references. Please, sitters and nannies, childcare providers, if you know you did not have a good relationship with a certain family, or you know that you did something, or there was just a discord, please do not use that family as a reference. Just do not. Use the families that you know that you left a good impression with, and they will vouch for you. Because other families, other parents, even if you're working in a teaching field, like I used to work as a teacher in a daycare, they looked up my references, and you have to make sure your references will not take you under. They're going to elevate you, not drag you to the bottom of the seat. So parents, check the references, because sometimes the references may or may not be legit. So do some research on that. Sitters, please use legitimate references. Thank you. Last of all is personality. Now, this may seem very minimal to some people, and this may seem like it's irrelevant, but personality matters. There are some families who, if you have a negative demeanor or negative disposition about yourself, they are not going to hire you. I don't care how many credentials you have. There are families who maybe they have a more slow-paced approach to how they deal with their kids, or maybe they have a more I don't want to say aggressive, but maybe a more straightforward way to how to handle things in the household. And you may be someone that's relaxed, kind of go with the flow, kind of just let things happen kind of person. And that's not going to work, because although you don't have to have the same personality as the family, you have to at least have somewhat of the same philosophies and approach, because you don't want to have a personality or have kind of beliefs that are absolutely different from the parental styles of the family, because then you guys are going to clash. So personality is definitely something that families pay attention to. How you act, your demeanor, if you're somebody that is high on life and naturally optimistic, or if you're somebody that's just kind of mellow and just kind of, calm and monotone, or maybe you're somebody that seems to just kind of be all over the place, just here, there, all over. Personality really can make a family choose not to work with you anymore. You don't have to go there and be fake and put on a show for them, but definitely show your personality when you go and meet them, when you go in for an in-person interview with them, so they can know who they are dealing with and make sure that it's a good fit for you and the family. So those are my 5 things to think about or consider when looking for a nanny, and if you're a nanny looking for a position, those are 5 things to consider. Once again, I will say this is my opinion based on my experience. If you have any opinions or any thoughts, please feel free to comment. Please feel free to share with me. Like I said, I've been in childcare for so many years now, but that does not mean that I am a guru, and neither does it mean that I cannot learn from you. Thank you so much for watching my first YouTube channel. And remember, trust me, I'm a childcare professional.